Okay, so Audi TT Mk1. We're just gonna jack it up and have a little look underneath it. It was delivered to me yesterday. I went to have a look at it the day before up in Bristol and decided to buy it for £1,400. It comes with a year's MOT. Obviously the tax you don't get anymore because they get theirs refunded and I have to get a new one, and then I have to insure it as well. But meanwhile I'm going to get it roadworthy, although it's drivable with an MOT pass, but to make it more reasonable and respectable and reliable. So I'm going to check all the fluids and things like that and replace probably timing belt, the gearbox oil and the final drive oil, or the four-wheel drive system, Holdex I think they call it on these Quattros, and you know, just generally check it all over and make a list of what things we're going to need. We're going to go about modifying it in certain ways, slowly over time. But the first thing I'm going to do is jack it up and have a good look underneath it. I was going to take the front wheel off, but I realise I haven't got a power bar yet. And, the wheel nuts are pretty tight, although the locking wheel nut was loose and I managed to undo that easy enough. But the other ones are very tight and I've only got half-inch drive ratchet at the moment. I'll have to buy myself a power bar. I used to do a lot of mechanical work when I was younger. I haven't done it for 10 years or so now, but now I've got a project, I'll have to acquire a few more tools again. Quite get my jack under the chassis rail. Not on the front, but we can further back, so we'll go with that. Now, of course, I can't jack it up because I can't raise it enough. Just so I can peer underneath it. I'm not going to crawl underneath it. I'll have to get some axle stands, 4 of them. I better get it right up in the air to do any work under there. Just going to have a quick look, see what's on it and what's not on it. All looks pretty standard. Catalytic converters. Tyres look alright. Don't see any rust. It's all well under sealed. So that's all good so far. We needed that. Let's resecure the headlamps. Looks like part of the front bumper is missing. Broken off. I'll make a list of things that's needed. Front bumper. It's broken on this side front. Headlamps need resecuring. I watched on YouTube how you can polish the glass lens again. If they're getting cloudy, you can rub them down with emery paper with a 600, and then you go to a no, you start with a 400, and then you go to an 800, and then 1,000, 1,500, and then a 2,000, and then you polish it, and then you get them back like new. Well, from the outside, isn't it? So we'll need to do that. Someone had put some LED lights around the bottom of the headlamp, and they pushed that in around the bottom of the headlamp. It's an LED strip light. I think we'll do away with that highly technical modification. I'll show you what I mean. They had put it along here. So then it's going to need resecuring. Here's the other one. At least this headlight's a bit more secure. You can see the glass is very dull. It's got lacquer over the top of it. Yeah, thanks. So, I'm not sure if that's a plastic or a glass. Sounds like plastic. But I'll check that out before I start rubbing it down with sandpaper, that's for sure. Whether it can be done. I should really disconnect this properly. I don't want to create a short and then have a problem straight away. Maybe I'll just cut it here and then put a bit of tape on it or something for now. Oh, there, it's come off now anyway. Alright, let's get rid of that. So, I'm going to need some kind of wheel brace. Let's make a note of that. Power bar. Or I've been looking into getting a 1/2-inch drive hammer drill, hammer gun, electric one. That will be handy. I might get one of those. I'll look into that. Hammer gun, I suppose you call it. 1/2-inch drive. A wheel gun. Or a power bar. It's probably cheaper to get a power bar for now. So these are, now we're going to do some oils. We're going to do the Haldex, which is the 4-wheel drive Quattro rear diff oil. I think there's a filter there as well. I'll look into all that, how that's done. That's easy enough, I think. I might need a pump, which is a little oil pump, hand oil pump, to actuate the transfer of the oil. It all looks pretty good, you know. Apart from the obvious crunches on the bodywork, there's a big dent there and a scrape and a ripple there. It looks like it's got filler in it from a previous time. Also, the rear bumper is not sitting very nicely. It's been thumped one way or another. It's got all cracks all over it here. Cracks, scuffs, a bit of paint missing off of here. Just had a whack there. But the rear lights are looking okay. They're not exactly flat, there's a ripple. I think that takes the shape of that. Kind of curves around there, but that one doesn't. That one does. So they kind of protrude a little bit. The exhaust looks alright. It's sitting a bit closer to this than that one. A little out of line. Why it's out of line, can't really tell from here. I'm going to have to get it right up in the air to see that. I'm looking for any upgrades, any suspension or anything like that, or brakes. I think it's all standard. The shock absorbers look quite old, but that's not to worry because we're eventually going to get round to replacing those and whatnot. and the springs probably, and all the bushes at the back, and probably the exhaust system as well at some stage eventually. That's the idea for the project. How's this lens? It's got a little scratch on it, some mark. Now if it's glass or something, I might be able to get that out or polish it out. A little mark there. I think that will probably just buff off that well. The bumper's going to need some attention. It looks better this side, but it's still a bit out of line. It's got scuffs here. Let's have a look again here. No, it's plastic, isn't it? So I do have plastic welding tools, irons and heat guns. It's a bit deformed there though, so I'm not sure if that's going to straighten up there or not. Looks as though it's had repairs before to create this gel cracking filler and stuff in it, so I might have to get another bumper. Then I've got to go, well, eventually it's going to have a respray all over, but especially if we're going to repair this kind of damage, that will have to be filled and hammered out. Now, I did notice I've got the little S-line badges on it. If you look closely at that, I don't know if you can see, it looks as though it's just stuck on with some putty or some glue of some sort, because it's bulged out as it's been pushed on. So whether this is genuine or someone's fitted it afterwards, I'm not sure yet. But I do believe the S-lines come with 18-inch wheels, so I've checked the wheel size, they're 18 inches, but I'm not saying that's going to make it an S-line just yet. I do understand that sometimes the S-line would have it written across here, but not always. In the forum they said he's got an S-line and it had TT written on it, so I can't rule it out because of that. The other defining factors for S-line, I believe, are the all aluminium gear knob, which it has, which is pointing in the wrong direction at the moment, but I've been watching a few YouTube videos, and Dominic Parrot Bros, he shows you how to get these off. He's a very handy resource, and well, I'm pretty unfamiliar with all of it at the moment. It's my first Audi TT, and I only got it yesterday, and I've only been checking out the forums for a little while now. And we're gonna do it as a project. It's all pretty standard. I did go and see one that was modified already to a certain extent. He had the 3-inch downpipe and the ram inlet air filter, etc. What other mods did it have? I know, but I gave it a test drive and it went very well. But this is the standard one, so I can take the satisfaction of doing all the things myself and modify it however I want to modify it, you know, according to my budget and my tastes. But my goal is really to leave the outside pretty standard. I mean, I might go for the 3.2 bumpers, for instance. You know, I think they're an improvement on the ones that I have. I might go for a bigger intercooler at the front eventually, and go for the downpipe and the new exhaust system and the inlet, do all of that. But my main concern at the moment though is to check the cam belt. If that needs it, I'll certainly do that. That's one of my very first jobs, along with, you know, fixing up all the cosmetics, you know, like the bumper. You know, that's going to allow water to go in there and corrode things, so that kind of all needs to be done. before I look into doing things like suspension upgrades, stuff like that. I'll make the wheels look nice probably, if they're able to go that far. They look a bit beaten and battered. I might be able to get them back into a better position. They're a bit scuffed and grinded there. I might have to find some new ones. And I always look forward to having a nice brake modification. They look pretty good at the moment already. But that depends on how much power we can generate out of the engine, whether we need to upgrade the brakes or not. But there it is. Little Audi. So I'll just have another little look round it, and we'll catch up later.